Hello and welcome to Rev Sports. It's the final ODI of the series between India and South Africa, and the series is leveled at the moment. One win for India, one win for South Africa, and today becomes the decider. Are we looking at another hat trick of hundreds from Virat Kohli? Because the crowd there will be waiting for another Rohit and Kohli show. Bharat is joining us from Vizag, so is Devashish and Shomik. But Bharat, tell us about the build-up. What's it like outside of the stadium? You've been there since the morning. Tell us about the build-up. What's the crowd looking like?
Yeah, it's very much a frenzied atmosphere. A lot of fans, a lot of Rohit Sharma fans, a lot of Virat Kohli fans all around. You can see it from the back of their shirts. It is either Rohit Sharma or Virat Kohli. That's all you will see here in Vizag. Obviously, it's jam packed. I had to travel almost 1 kilometer away from the stadium to get any kind of internet. That also, I am on tenterhooks here by the side because a lot of traffic, even on this mud road, there's a lot of traffic. This is a road just behind the stadium. So that tells you the kind of jam-packed stadium that you will get to see today. Because thousands and thousands of fans have arrived. The queues are very long, and the policemen definitely have a task on their hands today because I see a massive crowd.
Shomik, this is Shomik and Debashish both. This is an issue that all of us journalists will relate to so much when it comes to, doing shows outside of the stadium and the internet issues. It's always such a headache because, first of all, I don't think people realize how many times we have to go in and out of the stadium to do the live shows. Every time there's a break, we have to go out and do it. And then you don't find internet. So you have to walk 1 or 2 kilometers away from the stadiums. But it's such a problem. It's, one of those things that come with the profession. But Devashish, how are you looking at this game? Because this is an important one for India to win. Now, look, India hasn't lost an ODI series at home, but at the same time, the context of the series also matters. India is coming in after getting, whitewashed by South Africa in the Test series, and that also comes after the New Zealand series. So it's not a great context to have at the moment. And if another ODI series loss comes, it's going to be a huge downpour on the Indian management.
Yeah, huge in the context of the series, Gargi, because India has been very dominant as far as any bilateral series is concerned at home, and they are staring at a Test series and followed by a one-day series loss, which has happened only once against Pakistan in 1986-87. So you can see the dominance of Indian team in at home, and there has never been a team that has won a Test series followed by a one-day series in a bilateral series. Those days, there was no T20 series as well. So I think India definitely will need to win this match, and set the record straight so as to keep that record intact. Because you don't want to be in a situation where South Africa goes on to whitewash the Test series and followed by it win a one-day series as well.
Shomik, how are you looking at the series? Again, similar question to what I asked Debashish. This is an important series for India to win. This is an important match for India to win. How are you looking at this setup?
See, Gargi, in isolation, this is an inconsequential series. This is just the early part of the team's journey for the 2027 World Cup, and they are trying to do some experiments and all that. That is in isolation. But if you club it, because usually these days, I mean, the way they do the scheduling, Test series and white ball series, they are kept apart. But this time they have been clubbed together: Test T20I and Test ODI and T20I. Now, if you look at the backdrop, against the backdrop of India suffering another whitewash, another home series whitewash, 2-0 home series whitewash. See, fans will not look into the context. What is 2027 World Cup? What is stuff like that? Fans will see that you have lost the Test series. Before that, you have lost the ODI series in Australia. And now, if you lose this game, you are losing another home series. So your home dominance would be questioned. The thing is that the fans will be there would be some knee-jerk reactions from the fans, not from the BCCI at this moment, but BCCI, I can assure you, I can confirm that BCCI is keeping a tab on the whole thing. I mean, they will not rock the boat at least until the next year's World Cup, next year's T20 World Cup. But BCCI is keeping a tab on the proceedings. That is number one. That, but number two is that if India, I still back India to win this game. There are certain mitigating factors, Gargi, like India not winning any toss. India lost back-to-back tosses in this series, and the due factor, everything. All said and done, as professional athletes, you have to get over those. You have to get over those impediments. If India hypothetically I mean, they lose this series, then it is totally down to, I will not blame the players, I will blame the selection committee. Selectors at the fault. They have chosen a wrong team. They have Akshar Patel to start with, should have been in the side, and you are carrying a liability in Prashid Krishna. You are carrying someone who shouldn't be within 100 miles of Indian team. You are playing him. Now, if Prashid Krishna bowls 7 to 8 overs, 9 overs, you know India will lose. Simple as that. So you are carrying such liabilities in the team. You are not. Mohammad Shami is sitting out. Akashdeep is sitting out. So you have picked the wrong team. But I don't want to get into all this. I don't want to get into, because there is still a match to be played, and I back India to win this game.
You are backing India to win this game. But Shomik, you brought up a very interesting point over there, and I'd like to know more about the fact that you said BCCI is keeping a tab of whatever is going on and all the issues in the management at the moment, especially with the selections. Can you throw a little bit light on that before I go to Bharat?
See, I don't want to reveal too much. I don't want to reveal too much because the source needs to be protected. But seriously, BCCI, I can tell you, BCCI is keeping a tab in the sense, as I have told you, like until the next year's T20 World Cup, BCCI will not rock the boat. But India will have to reach at least the finals. This much I can reveal. India will have to reach the finals. After that, if they lose in the finals, that would be taken into consideration, because that is one of game. And also the taste thing, that is absolutely under consideration. I spoke to a top BCCI official at Raipur, and he told me that, look, we are not doing any formal review during the series because it might demoralize the players and the support staff. I cannot name the official, for obvious reason. On condition of anonymity, he told me that because it is during in the middle of the series, we are not doing any review, but certain things have been told to the people concerned. Certain messages have been passed to the people concerned. And BCCI will not, cricket is the product, and BCCI will not take failures lying down. And BCCI has every right to do it, and BCCI cares for Indian cricket, and they are doing it. They are doing what needs to be done.
100%. This is, BCCI is the richest board in the world, has the biggest talent pool anyone can possibly imagine. And if you can't just sit and watch Indian cricket go down the drain, or rather circle the drain at this point. But Bharat, I'd like to ask you, I've been watching all of my friends and all the journalist stories. Vizag looks like a beautiful ground, a beautiful place to play cricket in. How much do you think the toss factor comes in, the due factor comes in? Because we've seen how much due can play a factor in these wins.
Yes, can you come again? There is a little bit of internet problem, I guess. Can you just come again, the last word?
Yes, the due and the toss, how much do you think that factors into tonight's win? Or who will win the toss? Or who will win the game?
Definitely, the due will play a massive role. As you know, here in Vizag, what happens is during winter, in the morning, the weather is very pleasant. It is very cool. And then you get hot and humid conditions. It's very hot now. And then somewhere in the evening, late evening, in the night, you again get very cool weather. That is why you expect enough dew in Vizag. And one more thing I want to add here at 5:30 p.m. itself, kind of gets dark. As far as the pitch conditions are concerned, see, I expect a pretty flat pitch here. Of course, it could be slightly on the slower side in the first innings. We saw it during the Raipur ODI as well. There's a phase when I guess Virat Kohli had to wade through that phase when the ball was not really coming onto the bats. And Ruturaj Gaikwad also formed the strike really well. And that helped the Indian team to negotiate the threat of maybe that track on the slightly on the slower side just for a few overs. I expect it to happen Vizag as well for a few overs. And with Dew coming into play in the second innings, you expect the batting to become better. So toss again will be very important, as Mr. Ryan Kata jokes that they tend to win 1 in a million toss. That's what the probability rate is, and he hoped that they will win at least 2 in 2 million. So hopefully India will win the toss. But Dew, there definitely is expected. You saw that even during the World Cup games, Women's World Cup games, that Dew came into play here.
Again, Devashish, same answer, same question to you. This has become a talking point when it comes to Dew, when it comes to ODI games. Should we go back to the format of playing day games when it comes to ODIs in winters? But at this point, if India lose the toss tonight, does that mean that South Africa already has an upper hand going into the game?
Gargi, no point in discussing what is not going to happen. Means at this moment, you have to play keeping in mind the conditions what it is in Vizag for the third ODI. And I was just going through Ryan Dashkat's press conference. He also mentioned that the support staff has been working how to counter this Dew. Means counter in the sense that as far as preparations are concerned, means be it bowling with a weight ball or means whatever. Means see what it is not in their hand, you can't help it. Means obviously the bottom line is if India loses the toss today as well for the 21st time, India has to find a way. The bowlers have to find a way so as to how to counter the Dew factor. See, you can't just keep on complaining and asking for excuses. Means this is not happening. So obviously, hopefully means the support staff, I mean the head coach and the bowling coach find a solution to this problem, because this is it. Means if India wins the toss, South Africa might face the same problem. So obviously, it is a situation where you have to counter the conditions and move on. So no point in discussing if India if India loses the toss again. So be it. Even if India loses the toss, what to do? It is not, you cannot blame a KL Rahul for losing the toss. It is for the bowlers to put up their sleeves and see what is the way out. Means how to counter the Dew. Gargi.
Absolutely. There's a question here. Shomik, you can take this one. Anand is asking only if they are focusing on the game alone rather than complaining about the toss, pitch conditions, Dew factor, etc. Above all, your bowling attack should be potent enough to defend the score.
Yeah, the thing is that I don't think India, I mean, KL Rahul at the post-match presentation spoke about the Dew, but the Indian team is not using it as an excuse. It would be unfair to say that they are using the Dew factor as an excuse. So, potent bowling attack they don't have, that is fine. That is, we all know that the potent bowling attack they don't have. From that point of view, especially as far as, but given the Dew factor, when the ball was like soap cake in the last game in Raipur, Arshdeep in such a high scoring game gave 50 odd runs in his 10 overs and took 2 wickets. And Harshit Rana was also okay, 70 runs, 1 wicket in that such conditions. In such conditions, it was pretty okay. I mean, I mean, the thing is that it is a very callow seam bowling lineup to start with. Arshdeep is still into the process of bedding himself in the 50 over format. And when that actually what happens in case of Dew factor, your spinners are, spinners are out of the equation. So that was happening. Kuldeep was trying to tweak the ball. He was not getting the tweak. Washington, maybe KL Rahul missed a trick by not starting with Washington Sundar up front, again, two left-handed openers. So all this taken into account, but I don't think this due thing, due factor thing is getting blown out of proportion. In day-night matches are are being played in India since 1993 Euro Cup. So it is not, Sarka 2025 is not witnessing the advent of dew in this part of the world. And India's home season has always been the winter. So every team, every Indian team since 1993 at home, every Indian team has to counter such factors, and they still won. India here also still won in Ranchi. And India not, to be fair, India not using that as an excuse, but it is a mitigating factor. But professional athletes are expected to get better of those factors.
Just to update, India has won the toss and decided to bowl first. And there
Wow.
was a little bit of celebration from KL Rahul at the toss.
Was there?
There was a bit of a celebration from KL Rahul at the toss after winning the toss and deciding to bowl first. So India do not have to worry about the dew factor, at least for the third ODI. So let's hope that India goes on to win that ODI and the series.
Let's see what happens. But
Yes, Gargi, my 2 cents now, that now you
yeah.
have won the toss, you have chosen to bowl. Now it is your game to lose. You can't afford to lose this game. You have to win it. Simple. Now you are talking, people are talking about the dew factor. People are talking about spinners going out of the equation. Stuff like that. Now it will be bowling in pretty dry conditions during the afternoon. So it is your game to lose. You cannot afford to lose this game. So assuming you are going to win it. If you don't win it, you are a failure.
But Bharat, I think we have to send you for every game just for the toss factor now. It seems like India has won the toss. How do you think this changes? You mute yourself. Yeah. Oops. No, you're on mute, Bharat.
Yeah, for the Indian team, it's great that they won the toss because they've been losing a lot of tosses. Maybe they might have done some black magic or on those lines. Who knows? Because they have been losing 90. When you lose 19 or 20 tosses, you feel like you have to do some magic, maybe bring some magic to end or on those lines. Yeah, but in these conditions, you definitely want to win the toss. It's quite hot here as well. And then you expect it to get very, very cool in the evening session. That is when you expect dew. See, there was a question related to dew. I would just add the point that when the bowler can't bowl seam up, when the bowler can't really spin bowler can't really grip, then it's very difficult to blame the bowlers. And the cricketing world also has changed. Somewhere in 1993 or 1995, teams chasing down targets were not so good. But in 2025, with the advent of IPL, with the advent of T20 cricket, so much of T20 cricket, teams really chase down targets very, very well. So when you consider that, and then you consider the due factor, winning the toss in this kind of conditions and bowling first will really help. And as expected, KL Rahul made a celebration because India have been losing a lot of tosses over a period of time.
Yep. Yes, Devashish.
KL Rahul has put up the toss with his left hand instead of his right hand.
Oh, is that what he did?
And one more thing, Gargi, as he was coming out of the ground, as he was coming out of the field after the toss, Harshit Rana came and gave him a high five.
Wow. So they've changed their tactics now.
One
And now
thing,
I think
Tilak Verma comes in. Tilak Verma comes in. Tilak Verma comes in.
oh, Tilak Verma comes in.
Put out my story on the screen.
Okay, there we go. We have the playing 11.
Put out my story on the screen. Once again, another Red Sports break.
Shaumik, I wrote an article yesterday. It was a sort of a hypothetical situation about what happens when Gill comes back into the fray. Maybe a Shreyas Iyer also comes back to the fray. What happens to the number 5 position? And I said, it's Tilak Verma who takes it, and Ruturaj Gaikwad stays at number 4. And I got taken to the cleaners for saying that, because apparently, Shreyas Iyer, I was running an agenda against Shreyas Iyer because I moved him from his position. But anyway,
Okay.
here's the team. Here's the playing
No, no.
11.
See, Gargi, once Shreyash is back, he is the designated number 4. He will walk in, but we don't know when he will be fit. As of now, I mean, for 2 months he is not playing, so he is missing the New Zealand tour also. I mean, the New Zealand series also. So after that, the match is in some. I mean, then the England tour that is in summer. You have a 4-5 months gap, so immediately he is not coming back to the ODI fold. And as far as T20 is concerned, he is not in the T20I setup at this moment in time. And given that he would lack the game time, I don't know. Shreya Iyer is a big tournament player. Maybe he just maybe there is an outside chance he could make it to the T20I World Cup squad. But the possibility is pretty slim at this moment in time. Shreya Iyer, but once Shreya Iyer is back, he is I mean he is in top form. Then Shreya Iyer is the team's designated number 4. Like Shubman Gill is the designated opener. Jasasri Jaiswal is playing. He is the reserve opener and he is playing.
Okay, so let me tell you all the playing 11. It's Rohit Sharma and Yashasvi Jaiswal opening the innings for Team India. Virat Kohli at number 3. Ruturaj Gaikwad stays at number 4. Tilak Verma comes in place of Washington Sundar at number 5. KL Rahul, the captain, at number 6. Ravindra Jadeja, and then the bowlers Harshit Rana, Kuldeep Yadav, Arshdeep Singh, and Prasidh Krishna. So a playing 11 along very expected lines here. I think we all were discussing about the number 5 position, and we all pretty much were in consensus about the fact that it will be Tilak Verma who comes in at number 5 in place of Washington Sundar. Bharat, how do you think this changes things? This solidifies India's batting lineup, and now that you're chasing, it makes things easier.
See, when it comes to Washington Sundar, I don't think it's tailor made for batting at number 5, 6, or 7, or on those in those slots. Because he's someone I don't think has that power game, and secondly, he's not very good at rotating the strike. Having said that, in the net session yesterday, he was trying to play with soft hands. In the optional net session, it was clear that the management were trying to work on his batting when it comes to forming the strike. But this is a good change because I don't think Washington Sundar is tailor made to bat in those slots. So I would have gone for Tilak Verma from match 1 itself, and that's good to see. Obviously, there will be pressure on someone like Prasidh Krishna as well going into this match. See, despite all the criticism, he's taken 33 wickets in 20 matches, so it's basically hitting you 1.6, 1.5 wickets per game. The problem is his inconsistency, economy rates. Maybe he tries to attack too much. That's what I feel. He goes out on an all-out attack approach. And the second thing, what I've noted about Prasidh is when compared to Harshit Rana bowls this into the pitch slower ones, while Prasidh doesn't really bowl this into the pitch back of the lane slower ones. If he learns that, maybe he'll be better off. But coming back to Washington Sundar, I think that's a good change because Sundar, I don't think is meant to bat somewhere at 5, 6, 7, or 8.
All right. More questions here. South Africa, okay, Tilak Verma is playing. Yes, Tilak Verma is playing. India opted to field. There's an off-field question here by Freaking Awesome. ICC will re-implement the ODI Super League after 2027 ODI World Cup. Thereafter, teams have to take bilateral ODI series seriously because of the last few points. South Africa were qualified for the 2023 ODI World Cup. Devashish?
ICC will re-implement the ODI Super League after the 2027 ODI World Cup. The teams have to be the few points. South Africa. Yeah. What does it mean? Can you just get back? I cannot read the question. Can you just please read out the question for me?
Yeah, I think freaking awesome is just saying that when ICC re-implements the ODI Super League, people will take bilateral ODIs seriously. Not people, teams will take bilateral ODIs seriously. But okay, it's fine. We can move on from here. Okay, so I think there are two changes in the South Africa playing 11 as well. I will quickly check. It might just be that
Those
Nandre
are
Burger.
post changes, Gargi, because of the hamstring injuries.
Yes, yes, yes. So
Last
you
match.
have so you have Ryan Rickelton and Quinton de Kock opening. You have Temba Bavuma, Matthew Britsky, Aidan Markram, Deval Breves, Marco Janssen, Corbin Bosch, Keshav Maharaj, Lungi Ngidi, and Bartman. So two forced changes here. Shomik, how do you see the changes? How does that affect India? What do you think?
I don't think so, because now that India have, India shouldn't be concerned about South Africa, because now that they have won the toss and they are bowling second. They are starting this game with an advantage. Given that Nandre Barger couldn't field after he pulled up, after he pulled his hammy, I think around 39th over during India's innings in the last game, and Tony Dizorzi. But then again, you saw when Tony Dizorzi limped out of the ground, he hobbled off. After that, Keshav Maharaj came, and then still Corbin Bosch. So this South African team is giving a great example of uh, greater than the sum of their parts. It is a fantastic example of how the collective is superseding, be it the World Test Championship final against Australia, how the collective is trumping individual brilliance. They have shown that in the Test series also. You have seen many players. I mean, if Temba Bavuma was the man in the first test, then Marco Jansen, then even Muthuswamy didn't play did the first test. He came and scored a match-winning 100, a game-changing 100. So it is about the collective, and this is a different South Africa team. They are they are reveling in their confidence. They are maybe the South Africa of the 1990 or early 2000 vintage. Even the last game, when the game became tied, two quick wickets. They lost two quick wickets. They would have lost that. They would have choked. But this South Africa is reveling in their confidence, and which is a very very good thing for cricket overall. This is a very very good thing. Going ahead, I would like to see. I mean, they are playing. Digressing a bit from this ODI series, but going ahead, I would like to see the top nations, India, England, and Australia, are playing longer test series against the South African team, for that would augur excellently well for the game of cricket.
And if I may just add to Shomik, that South Africa has missed Kagiso Rabada throughout this series.
Exactly, totally, absolutely. So it is about the collective. It is not about the individual. In this South African team is concerned, it is not about the individual. It is about the collective. If you look at the two youngsters in the middle order, this Britsky and Dewald Brevis, two top talents, fantastic talents. So, and also Dewald Brevis is getting used to playing in these conditions through his stints earlier with Mumbai Indians, and now he is very much part of the Chennai Super Kings, and that is adding to their game. These IPL stints, using the franchise facilities in this part of the world, like Rachin Ravindra, you can recollect, like the Test series three match Test series last year. Rachin Ravindra came about a month or a month and a half earlier, use Chennai Super Kings practice facilities to get used to the spinning, to the turning ball, to spinning conditions, and we saw the result. So this is also Indian cricket in a way. Indian cricket also contributing to the development of South African cricket in a massive way.
Devashish, freaking awesome has sent the question again. Let me make it simple. Teams were qualified for the 2023 ODI World Cup on the basis of ODI Super League, which is similar to WTC points. ICC will re-implement it after 2027 ODI World Cup.
So
So making it a cycle sort of system.
just like WTC points. But obviously, the priority of all the teams has been to win the win bilateral series, isn't it? So I think India's, and see, we are talking about because India are on the verge of losing a series, because if you look back, India has been very dominating when it comes to bilateral series at home. Especially, I'm talking about a white ball series, one day and T20. They hardly lost any matches, and so I think and whatever be it, means I think India will continue to dominate. It was one of a series, and also as Shomika rightly said that let's also credit South Africa with the brand of cricket they have played in this series, be it Test series, be it the one-day matches. In these two one-day matches, they have been brilliant. Means they have been clinical. They have utilized the conditions. Be it they have strategized well. This is one factor that I would like to highlight. They have strategized well. Means look at the team that they picked for both the Test matches. So I think overall, and I think it has been a series remembering for South, especially that whitewash against India, and now means obviously the onus will be on the batters now to post a big total, something like what India did in the first two matches, putting in a total in excess of 325, 300, because that is I would say a benchmark. Means obviously, if you now that India will be chasing, South Africa needs to bat well so as to challenge the Indian batters. Yes, the conditions will not be in favor of the bowlers, but obviously the onus will be now on their batters to post a total which the bowlers can defend.
Devashish, I mean, 2000, when South Africa, for the last time when South Africa won a test series here, that Hansi Kronia team, after that, the ODI series that followed, I covered a few matches of this series. But even after that, after losing to South Africa, the test series, India managed to pull off the ODI series. So from that context, I think it is very important. In isolation, this is an inconsequential series. But given the 2-0 scoreline in the tests, this series becomes very difficult. And now they have won the toss and would be bowling first. They don't have any excuse. They will have to win it.
Gargi, all this good work of a Virat Kohli and the Rohit Sharma in this series will go down, will be counted as zero. Means if you do not go on to win this match and the series, the memory of fans are very short-lived. Means the priority will be to win this match and win the series, because you cannot afford to lose one-day series at home. With due courtesy to South Africa, means obviously they have done well, but the bottom line is you cannot afford to lose a series. You cannot afford to lose a series now that you have having won the toss and batting first.
But Devashish, I will slightly disagree. Respectfully disagree, in the sense that hypothetically, if India lose this game, Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma have enough credit in the bank. Virat Kohli have scored back-to-back hundreds. Rohit Sharma has scored a half century before that. In Sydney, also scored a century. I think the pressure will mount more than the players. More than the players, the pressure will mount on the team management and the selection committee. They would find themselves at the receiving end of the criticism. Players like Virat Kohli, for example, I don't think fans will hit out at him. It would be, all the ire would be directed towards the team management and the selection committee. Now there is a line. Fair criticism, constructive criticism, you are allowed. It's a free country, democratic country, and you are entitled to your opinion. But once criticism, degenerates into abuse, therein lies the problem. That shouldn't happen.
Totally agree with you, Shobhit. Totally agree.
We'll now take predictions and then close the show. Debashish, what is your prediction? How many runs is South Africa making? And is India chasing it down?
300 plus for South Africa, Gargi. Given their batting, given the way they batted in this two matches, I am banking my money for South Africa to post 300 plus score. Means obviously if they can post in excess of 350, that will be wonderful. But anything Around 300, I am banking my money on South Africa to post.
Shomik, what about you? What are your predictions?
Now that India won the toss and the South Africa will have to counter the due factor, I think
Yeah.
India are going to win this game.
All right. Shomik is giving Dew the upper hand here. Not South Africa, not India. It's Dew who decides the game.
It was something similar at Raipur, right? I mean,
100%.
people hardly spoke about the innings that Aiden Markram played, or Matthew Bridges played, or Dewald Brevis played. It was like due, like as if India lost
Right.
because of the due factor, like as if India lost because of the due factor, forgetting the fact that during this time of the year, due is nothing. I mean, due doesn't offer a novelty during this time of the year in India, and India have been playing day-night matches at home since 1993. So now I am due factor should be the dominant, and now that India have won the toss and they would be chasing, I am backing them wholeheartedly to win this game.
Absolutely. Well, on that note, we'll take your leave. Thank you so much, Bharat, for joining us from Vizag. He had to leave. He was quite far from the stadium and had to make his way back. Thank you, Shomik and Devashish as well, and to everyone who sent us comments and messages and questions. Thank you so much. Keep interacting with us, and we'll be back in the mid innings. So don't forget to join us then. Bye bye.